Hey everyone, we are going to give another example here using AI. We are going to use the Vision product from Google Gemini, and we are going to apply here this for hotels or Airbnbs or any kind of hospitality company that needs to know if a room is clean or not. Maybe if you have children of your own you want to give a score of their cleanness of their room and this kind of stuff. You can also use this. But the idea here is actually that we're going to use this to review if maybe your client or someone that was using a specific unit uh, when they left, if it was clean or not, or if your crew after they clean it, it was actually cleaned or it was not. So basically, the idea here is really simple. We are going to do a simpler version of this one. However, you could do this in many different ways. You could give it scores, you could give this grades, and so on. So we are going to use vision, so AI vision, to say if it's clean or not, or and also to give a reason why it was not clean. So I think that's the main idea, right, Cruz? So if you could tell us a little bit more about this app and what's the exact problem that this already solves, and then we can go to how have we built this and show people how to build their own app, or even use this example for other markets or any other situation that they also could have been using vision for their own business.
Yeah, so the idea here, this template as it is a little bit more geared towards, like you said, hospitality, so short stays, short rentals, and so on. So the idea here is that you have this manual process in which the cleaning staff has to go to a room and they register everything they did, and they have a checklist. So they have to make the bed, they have to clean. Let's see, I don't remember the parts that I put on this template. So vacuum, they have to clean the desk, and so on. So you can have this manual checklist to remember them what they have to do once they start cleaning a room. But afterwards, the idea is that they have to provide evidence of what they did, right? So they are going to take a picture of the room itself, and then we're going to send this to the AI with a few specific instructions. Those instructions can vary, so it may not be the same that we're using here that you're going to use in your company, but it's very easy to change it, and we're going to show you guys how to do it. And the idea is that after the cleaning staff registered what they did, you just have to click here on analysis, and the AI is going to evaluate if it was properly cleaned or not. We're doing this through a button. We like to do this just to exemplify a little bit better what's happening, because then we can just click on it and you guys can see it in action. But you could also do it in a way that as soon as the record is created, the AI automatically evaluates if the room is cleaned or not. So we could also do this. We're not doing this in this template, just to show you guys in this live stream with a little bit more of control, so it's a little bit more obvious what's happening. But to change this is very simple, and we can also do it during this live stream, so you guys can replicate if you want it. Like we said before, this could be done in other ways. Like Banak said, you could have it the AI providing a score for cleanliness or something like that. But the idea here is quite simple. It's just going to say if it was properly cleaned or not, and we're going to receive this in the card itself. So let's show you guys an example. So I have this cleaning app, and I can just click on new record, and then I have to provide some information here, right? I can type in room 104, and then I have the manual checklist. So for example, so the idea here is that the person has their smartphone, and they're following the checklist, right? So sheets, and then they say, okay, I've made the bed. vacuum. I vacuumed the room, and then I cleaned the desk, so everything's okay. And then I'm going to click here on next. I go to the next page, and then I have to provide evidence. So I'm going to paste an image here, but the idea is that the person can take a picture with their smartphone. So all they have to do here, I'm going to show you guys that you can also have this mobile, right? So room 104. This is a simulation of using mobile. The browser doesn't allow me to paste when I'm in browser mode, but you could do it if you wanted to. Okay, so let's go, provide evidence, and then I'm going to click on submit. So I'm sending this record and it went right here to review. Okay, so now, like I said before, we're not sending this automatically to the AI, to Google Gemini, but you could do it so we wouldn't have to wait or click the button. But for a little bit more control, it's in this button here, analysis. I'm going to show you guys how it's is set up later, but I'm going to click on this, and this is going to send the image to the AI with some instructions. And as soon as it's finished, yeah, you can see I press done, and you can see here that on this list I have the rooms that failed in review. So these are the records that Gemini has deemed not properly cleaned, and you can see here that Gemini says this room wasn't properly cleaned, and if I open this, I have the analysis. So no, this room was not properly cleaned by the cleaning staff, the bed is not made, there are clothes on the floor, and the chairs are not perpendicular to the desk. This last sentence is there's a specific reason for this, so I'm going to delve into this. But you can see that the AI it examined the room and it concluded that it was not properly cleaned. So the cleaning staff said that they made the bed, they vacuumed the floor, but that's impossible because the bed is not made and there are clothes on the floor. So how did they vacuum the floor if there's still stuff littered around, right? So how is this working? I'm going to go to the database itself, so the table of every record as soon as for cleaning, right? So all I have here is a title. So the title is the number of the room. I have an image field for the picture of the room after it was cleaned. I have a text field for the Gemini analysis. So this is going to receive the response from the AI. I have the checklist field, which has the instructions for the person who's manually cleaning the room. And I have a single option field, which gives me, it's setting up the columns of the Kanban board, right? The sections of the Kanban board. But the most important part here, I'm going to activate builder mode, is the analysis button. So I'm going to click on this, edit field. And you guys can see that when I click on this button, when this button is clicked, I'm going to run this automation, send a prompt and an image to get an answer. So if I click on this, this is how this automation is set up, right? So first of all, I have to connect my Gesture account to Google Gemini. It's quite simple. All you have to have actually is a Google AI Studio account. And then if I click here on add connection, I just provide my API token. So just copy and paste and you're connected. So in this table, room cleaning database, I'm going to update the record in which I click the button. And I'm going to save the answer from Google Gemini to the field Gemini analysis. So this field. And now I'm going to provide a prompt, right? So from the picture provided, which is this one, tell me if the room was properly cleaned by the cleaning staff. Keep in mind, chairs should always be perpendicular to the desk, and always start your answer with yes or no. So why am I doing this?
make as possible there, because maybe if you are a hotel chain, all your rooms kind of look the same, and you already have a standard for a room. So the chair should be, I don't know, aligned to the table. The frigo bar door should be closed. The bathroom should be that way. So you already have a standard. So everything that deviates from that standard would be considered as not organized or not clean, or matches our requirements or doesn't match our requirements, and this kind of stuff. So it's interesting because in that way, your standard of quality would be almost like perfection. Because if you always want towels to be on top of the bed or something in a specific shape, if they are not on a specific shape, the AI will tell you like it's not exactly it does not match exactly with our standard or something. Of course, then you need to change the prompt. Like Fernando did a really simple prompt, but really useful for this case. But if you want to go further, you can just change the way that you are going to require the AI to function, and then you need to test it with different rooms, with different people. If it's working well, then afterwards you just trust the results and automate your process. But it's important for you, especially if you're using images, to test in real life, see if it has the expected result that you want. And one thing that's important is not only test for rooms that are perfect, but you need to test on rooms that are really messy or rooms that could trick you. If they all work, then you have a good automation, a good prompt. And it's basically an iteration problem that you need to go there, change a little bit, change a little bit. But at some point you have a 99% precision, which is way better than making sure that all your staff has the same understanding about cleanness, about organization, about the standard, and so on. So it's way easier that way. So instead of like spending time and effort talking to everyone, trying to teach them about the standard, you can do it in a way that's much more effective if you have these pictures and so on that are just registering everything that's happening in that room.
Exactly. So there are two key points to the prompt, right? To this specific prompt. The first one is that I'm giving a specific instruction that is chairs should always be perpendicular to the desk. So this is a specific instruction that it may not be a standard of organization in general, right? Maybe you don't want chairs to be perpendicular to the desk, but in this hotel chain or for this specific brand, this is the standard of organization. So you could provide as many, like Banak said, you could provide as many instructions as you need, so the AI knows what is organization to you, to your brand, to your hotel chain. So this is why when I look at the analysis from a different record, I can see that it specifically provides that the chair is not perpendicular to the desk, because I told the AI that it should look out for that specific trait of the picture, right? So this is one of the key points, knowing what to ask the AI so its standards are aligned with yours. And the second part, which is not uh, entirely obvious to everyone just by looking at it, is that I'm telling the AI to always start the answer with yes, dash, or no, dash. And I'm using this to filter out the information, right? There are other ways that I could do this, but I'm using this so there's a standardized type of answer. It always starts with no or yes, and then I can use this later on to categorize all analysis. So this is how you set up this automation. So let's close all of this. And so because I have this standard, I can do something like this, right? I have this list of rooms that failed in review. And if I look at it, It's basically a list from the room cleaning database, but I have a filter that only shows me rooms that have no dash in their analysis. So, like I said, there are other ways to do this. In low code, you could have a very specific way of categorizing things, of changing fields, and so on. But this works practically like flawlessly for what we need right now. So I could do something like this. I'm going to create an indicator to show the number of failed reviews today, or the percentage of failed reviews. So you can always like have the standard of I have to have 99% of properly cleaned rooms. I don't accept anything other than that. And then you can see the employee who submitted the picture and so on. So I created an indicator. So failed reviews today. And I'm going to look at the room cleaning database. I'm going to count the number of records that were created today. And I'm going to add a filter in which Gemini analysis contains no dash. And I'm going to save it. So there was only one today because this one was created yesterday, and the one that I've just created in this live stream, there it is. So I have one failed review today. So because I've added this condition to the AI that it should always answer with yes, no, dash, I can use this as filters, so I can have a little bit more of some analytics traits to this cleaning app instead of being only operational, right? So this means that I can keep looking at it on a daily basis to see if my cleaning staff crew is always reaching a certain standard of success, right? So like we said, and this is to finish things off, we don't have to have this button, right? We could do it as soon as the record is created, right? So we're going to do this right now. I'm going to go back to the database. I'm going to activate builder mode. I'm just going to copy the prompt so it's exactly the same. This one. Okay, there you go. So I'm back here on the table. I'm going to click on add new automation and review room. So when a record is created, so I'm going to use this as the trigger. So as soon as the record is created, I'm going to activate Google Gemini. I'm going to send this information to the AI. So I'm using this automation here. So here in the room cleaning database, I'm going to update the record itself, the one that I sent. I'm going to save the AI response in the Gemini analysis part. And then I'm going to send this prompt from the picture provided. Tell me if the room was properly cleaned by the cleaning staff. So everything that I did before. And I'm going to send the picture field, this one, right? So I'm going to click on this. I'm sending this picture to the AI, and I'm going to save. So now I'm going to create a new record. So I'm going to clean room 105. I'm going to say that I did everything in the checklist. And when I provide evidence, it's going to be the same image as before. And when I click on submit, so now I don't have to wait for I don't have to click on the button for the automation to run. It's running as soon as the record is created. You can see that failed reviews, there's already 2 here, and it was sent to Gemini, and Gemini gave me this response, right? So I don't have to click on the button. I can have this run as soon as the record is created. We just did it through a button to make it more obvious on what we were doing. But if you wanted to do it in a way that runs automatically as soon as the record is created, that's how you would do this. So, like we said before, this is one way to do this. You could do it in other ways. You could have more information. You could have like a score. You could have automations. So when a room is deemed not properly clean, instead of just appearing on this list, there's an email or there's a notification. There are all sorts of things that you could do, but the idea here is that you have this AI reviewing records and telling you if the process is running smoothly or not. This is a very useful information for operational purposes, right? Because you would never be able to review every single one of the pictures. So usually what companies do with this sort of process is doing spot checks, right? So if you have like 100 records in a day, you look at 10, and if you look if those 10 are doing well or not. So that's how you would traditionally do this. But with AI, you could run a check on every single record, right? It's like having a person entirely dedicated just to reviewing if everything was properly done, and this will make the standard of cleanliness, the standard of quality for a company way higher than if you weren't using AI, right? So it's a very useful tool, not only operationally, but it reflects on the perceived quality that your guests are going to have, right? So you increase the perceived value of your services as well, and yeah, that's very useful for any company, right?
Yeah. Also, we have more examples using AI on the channel. So if you like this one, probably you'll like the other ones as well. We also show the prompts, how to use it, how to build the app. And if you have any other suggestion for what a specific process that you want to use the AI or automation or no code, just let us know. Next week we'll be back with another live for you guys showing how to build better tools for your company. So see you soon. Bye.